Hello guys, welcome back to this channel, and today we are going to discuss on HTML5 full course. You don't need any other previous skills so that for you to understand this course. So this is for absolute beginner to an advanced level. So to get started, first of all you need a browser, and then another thing you need is a text editor. And if you are a beginner, I would encourage you to use Sublime Text or Notepad++. Those are very good for the beginners. So to get started, go to your browser, here, and then just type Sublime Text. Sublime Text is what we are going to use, Sublime Text. But if you are an advanced coder, you can use Visual Studio Code, Visual Code Studio, or Dreamweaver, or those advanced text editors. So just go to a Sublime Text official website, and then use this first link. Not really, use another link that are gonna work. So I'm using this one, this second one. Yeah, this is the official website. Then click download for Windows. Just click here and give it time to download. It depends with the speed of your computer. So like mine is taking forever because I think the RAM is very low. So when you are done, just click open. Just click it for just open the file after it has downloaded, and then click yes here. Remember, this text editor is very free. It's free. It is very free, and then it does not need a server. It's absolutely free. But there will be a pop-up notification that you register, but that's not a big deal. You just assume and go ahead. So it is installing, then click finish, and then you can minimize this, and then I go to your apps, and then I click Sublime Text, and then now here is your Sublime Text. This is now a text editor. So guys, HTML5 is the latest version of HTML. And HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's not a programming language, by the way. It's just a markup language used to display the structure of or to display how content should be displayed on a web page. So HTML5 is very key on web development. Especially you can't have a good design of a web page without HTML. So HTML is like the heart of our web. So you must first of all have your HTML file, and then you later use CSS to style it, and later use JavaScript to make it functional. So to begin code, first of all you need to save this document. You go to the file here, file tab, then you go to save, and then you choose the location of where you want to save. So for my case, I'm going to save on these documents. I'm going to save it here. So just write index.html. Remember, the keyword is this extension .html. You don't need you can use another name like Nehemiah.html or any other word .html. The keyword is this extension .html. So when you are done, just click save, and then here you have saved your document. So before you code, in the first line you must write the code or the declaration that will tell that this is a HTML5 document. So to do so, you just write you begin with an exclamation mark here, and then you follow with the doc type. Doc type in caps, remember, in caps, doc type, and then you click the spacebar and then write HTML in small, and then you close. So with this declaration, you tell the browser, or you tell the browser that this is a HTML5 document. So the next thing you might want to, the next thing that you must write is the the HTML itself, which defines the root of the document, that it's an HTML document. So you just write HTML, and then I click close. Now we are using these angle brackets. Actually, these angle brackets are the ones that I used to to enclose those tags. They are called angle brackets. So you must have, they are the symbol for less than and greater than. So you must open and close. And then HTML elements have the start tag and the end tag, but it's not applicable to all elements, because we have the remnants of XHTML, which are the self-closing tags, like the image tags, and then the something like the span and so forth. So those are the self-closing, but a complete HTML element has the start tag and the end tag, and the first tag has the a complete HTML element has the start tag, like this one for HTML is a start tag, and then the end tag has the has this it's the same as the start tag, but the difference that after this first angle bracket for less than, it is followed by with a forward slash, and then you write your HTML. So the difference is that this closing tag has the forward slash. So this is a complete HTML element. So the complete HTML element has the start tag, and then element has the content now, and then the closing tag. So our content is what we are going to write. Everything that we are going to write between this HTML start tag and the close tag is now the content for this HTML element. So the next thing that we're gonna write here is the head. So just write head and then close, and then this is the first tag for head, and then the second tag for head is just the same as this one, but the difference that it has the forward slash like that. So in the head we have the title, but the title also remember to have the tag itself title, this one. So you open and close, and then in between you write your content now. So like for our case, let's say HTML5, and then in the body, after you have completed with the head, you go to the body. So in the body, you just write body. It's a complete HTML element, so you use this body, the start tag and the end tag, and then this now in the body now is where anything that you want to appear on the page should be in between the start tag and the end tag of the body. So like you can have your heading, you can have your paragraph, your table, your list, links, and all of the above. Everything actually lies between this first tag and the end tag of the body. Perhaps I want to open two windows for browser and then for this text editor, so that you may see very well what we are coding, the display of what we are coding. So let me just click Windows logo plus E to open your file explorer, and then go to, I had saved it on documents. I don't know, it was, where was it? Don't know, it was where. I don't know, downloads, yeah, downloads, then documents, and then click on this. It is displaying this Chrome icon because Chrome is my default browser. So just click on it and then open, just resize it. And then for this text editor also try to resize, resize it so that you can see how you are coding and the display or the output. So let me just resize it. So we have two windows here. We haven't written anything here, that's why it's very white like that. So let's save this document. Just click Ctrl S to save. Not really. Ensure first of all you are in this page, in this window for text editor, then click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So guys, you can see here at the top we have the HTML5. Remember I told you that anything that you want to appear on the page should be between the body, the start tag of the body and the end tag of the body. So when you write in this heading, it will appear at the tab section here. So it will not appear on the page, but at the top here, the title of the page. So now in the body we have first of all you begin with the head. So H1 defines the highest heading, and then H6 defines the least heading. So for example, we are going to use let's write anything. Let's say HTML is a markup language. HTML is a markup language. Then click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. Guys, you can see we have the heading here. It has appeared on the page. So this is like now our the heading of the page. But when you use the H6, let me just copy this this line, and then I paste on a new line, but I change to be H6. So H6 defines the list heading. H6. Remember they go in that hierarchy: H1 highest, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So H6 is a list. It goes just in that order. So just click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So guys, you can see it's very small, very small heading here, because we said H6 is the list heading. Defines a very list heading. And guys, in this code you are not going to touch CSS, and remember HTML without CSS is very ugly. Just very ugly. You can't even imagine it's a page. But we shall discuss later on CSS. So having understood that, let's go to another thing. So the next thing that we are going to write is now the paragraph. So the paragraph, you have the tag for paragraph, which is P. P is now the tag for the paragraph. So you just write P, you start tag of P, and then the close tag of P. So now these are your paragraph element. So just write, and then in between you want to generate some text here. So to generate text, usually this text editor has some text already. So when you just write lorem, then you click tab, and then you click enter, it will give you those text. So when you click Ctrl S and then here refresh, you see you have some text here. We have some text here. So guys, I want us to discuss a little bit about those tags. For example, if we can have some text bold, italic, and so forth, or to underline a text, so we are going to use some tags here. So to make a text bold, you can place it anywhere. For instance, let me use this place. For to make a text bold, you use the B tag, B for bold, and then you put where you want your boldness to end. So when you just write / and then B, you just write this first angle bracket and then / just complete for you. So when you click Control S and then here refresh, you can see this part of the paragraph is very bold. It's bold because we have used the B tag. And then another thing, so for example, if you want to create 2 lines, if we split this way, and then click Control S and then here refresh, you realize there's nothing that is going to change. But if we use another tag, if we use a tag here, like for instance, if we use the break tag, the BR, is a self-closing tag, is a self-closing HTML element, is the remnant of XHTML, so it doesn't need the closing tag. You just write this first tag for break tag and then you are done. It's a self-closing tag. So when you click Control S, it will break this paragraph. So you can see it has breaked. But perhaps let me have 2 tags here. So BR again, BR, and then close. Then click Control S to save, and then here Control R to refresh. So guys, you can see we have splitted these 2 paragraphs. Yeah. So another thing that we might want in this very beginning is to underline a text. To underline a text with the HTML, you use the U tag. So for example, we want to underline this first part or this second part of the paragraph. So just go where you want your elements, your content to be underlined. So you use this you just use the U tag, and then you put it where you want the place where you want your underlined elements to end. So you just write here then the / and U. So this part of the document, it will be underlined. For instance, from begin this part to this end, it will be underlined. So just click Control S to save, and then here refresh. So guys, you can see your document is underlined. And then another thing that you might want us to have, perhaps to add a horizontal line here. So to add that horizontal line, you go to the place where you want to add. Remember, is a self-closing tag. So when you just write HR, and then close like that, you are done. It's a self-closing tag. Remember, I told you that a HTML element has we have the self-closing and then the full HTML elements. So just click Control S and Control S to save, and then on the browser click Control R to refresh. And guys, you can see we have the the horizontal line here, at least to split from the page and your content now. So guys, another thing that we are going to discuss perhaps is the attributes. All HTML elements can have attributes, but attributes just add information about a HTML element. And then they always are placed between the start tag. They are always placed at the start tag of the HTML element. So for example, let's try the one for list. We are going to discuss the links later, but for our case, just to highlight on this part of the the attributes, I'm going to use this link. So the tag for link is a, and then here at the A we have the hyperreference. So hyperreference defines the location of defines the destination of your link. So for example, if I have this A, then here you write your URL. URL is the uniform resource locator, like the place where your page is found. For example, let's use this one for Google. It is HT hypertext transfer protocol with a secured, and then you put this this colon, then to a forward slash, and then you just write www.google.com. So by default, this link, it will be blue, it will be underlined. Yeah, it will be blue and underlined. So okay, then another thing that we add here is now the link of the text, the name of the text. So you just write let's say this is my link, and then I click Ctrl S to save, and then here to refresh. So guys, you can see we have the link here. So this link is the one for the Google. So when you click on it, it will direct you to the Google page, or Google web page. So guys, you can see you have it has directed us to the Google page. So well, I've closed that window for our page. So let me just go back to my documents, and then open it again, and then let me close this window for my file explorer. So guys, you can see that I was just trying to to explain the attributes. So these are the attributes. So attributes has the it has the ID, and then now your value here it is. So this is now the some attributes. They are always placed between the start tag of HTML element. Remember, the end tag just remain the same, how it is. Yeah, just how it is. So guys, in this tutorial we are going to discuss on links in details. We are going to discuss images. We are going to discuss on forms, and actually, yeah, in the forms and everything here. So another thing that we might want, because I've introduced links, let me just go to links. Go to links here. So with the links, before then, let me tell you about the comments. So you might want to have your comments here, so that you may know this comments actually tell the developer or the coder that this part is what. For example, if I write here my comment here like this, and say links, HTML links, and then put this closing tag. So this is the tag for comments. They're just part in the side of the developer, but it will not appear on this page. So this just tell the developer that I'm done with this part, I'm going another part, or it helps them to recall or to remember the places, or where to change, or where to customize while he is coding. So when you just write this, it helps you to know this was I was dealing in the paragraph, now I'm going to the links. So with the I'm saying that we are going to discuss links. So with the links, we use the A element. So A element, A element. So with the links, we have the let me just do it close like this so that we may have, so that I may not confuse anybody. So we have the, sorry, so this is the tag for link. So the tag for link always is accompanied with an attribute, and then what you need to know about the link is that the links, the unvisited link is always blue. The visited link is purple, something like purple, like this one, because we have clicked and it has directed us to the Google page. But when you visit it regularly, it will turn to reddish, something like reddish, like that. So for example, let me use this other one, and say again, let me use the one for Google because it's not complicated. Let me say click me. Let me say click me to be directed to the Google page. And I remember with the CSS you can style these colors to be what you want. Remember, this is just the defaults for HTML, but when you include CSS, you can style your colors to be what you want. Like it will not be blue, it might be even green, it can be any other color, or it might not even have the underlined, this something underlined. So in this first tag, I said that the links are always accompanied with the hyperreference. So you must include this hyperreference, which defines the location of your link, or the destination of your link. And then here you put the the equal sign, and then you put these two colons, this quotation mark, or I guess it's quotation mark. And then here now you write your link, the URL for your link. So I say that I'm going to use the one for Google, which is just or I try another one. Let me just use the one for Google because it's very simple. www.google.com, is it so? .com, and then click Ctrl S to save, and then here you refresh. So guys, you can see we have the blue. I said that unvisited link is always underlined but blue. The visited is always underlined and purple, something like purple. And then the one which is visited regularly, it will be red, underlined and red. As you see, this one we haven't visited, that's why it is regularly. That's why it's blue. And then another thing that you have realized, that even if you have a very big space like this on the page, it will just appear as a single line. So if you want to split some line, you must include this break tag, which is br. Yeah, br. Then let me use to br. Yeah, and then click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So at least you can see we have split this two line. So another thing that so when you click on this link, by default it will direct you to it will just open on the same page. It will open on the same page. I see there might be a problem here with this Google page or my data. It should direct me to a Google page, and I see it's not directing me there. Oh, there's a problem here with the URL, so I must include .google, yeah, like that. Then click Ctrl S. So that's why so when I click on it, it will actually it has directed me to a Google page. So guys, by default when you click on a link, it will direct you to it will open on the same page, but you might want to open on a new tab or a new window. So to do so, you must include another attribute on the first tag, which is target. Now you use the target attribute, so when you use self, it will open on the same window. But if you use the one for blank, you must begin with the underlined, and then you write blank. I don't know if that's the correct spelling for blank. Let me try to click Ctrl S and refresh. Yeah, you see, when you use the blank attribute, it directs you to a new page, a new tab, so it will not interfere with this first window of yours, first page of yours. So it just directs you to the new page. But if we use the blank, the self, and then click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh, it will just appear on the same page. Like for our case, the link, it will just open on the same page, but it's always recommended to use the blank, so that it directs you to a new page, so that it may not interfere with your tags. So another thing that I think this we are going to discuss links in details, but for now I think this is the basic. Go and practice this link, this part where we have discussed. But links, as we go on, we shall discuss it in details. So another thing that we want to study today, or to talk about it today, is the table. So let me use this open. Let me add some comments here. It's not a must, by the way, but it's always prudent to include, so that it helps you to understand that these patterns are for tables. We are going to discuss tables. Tables. So with the table, we just use the tag for table, which is table, just table. Table is a complete HTML element, so it has the start tag and the end tag, and then here when you're done with this part. So a table usually have rows, columns, and some content there. So with the table, when you're done with this table, the next thing, you go to the table row, which is represented with the tr tag. So tr is the one for table, and then the table usually has the head and the head part, and then now the other parts which you fill your data now. So in the table head, you include the th, which is for table head, th, yeah. And then in the table head, you write your content. Like for the first part, let me say name. Let me just copy this thing. I want us to have at least 3 columns, so let me add 3. And then in this second line, let me say something like email. Let me say name, and then let me say registration number. I like using this one because it's simple, at least a bit simple. And then these other sides, let me say year of study. So now this is the table head. When you're done with the table head, you ensure that this part of the table head is closed with this tr. So another thing, now we go to your content, now your data. So you just write, first of all, it has the table row, which is tr. So just click TR, and then let me copy and make it 3 lines so that it may be easy for us to it will be easy for us to just customize it. So now we don't write this, sorry guys, we don't write this TR again. So we write, first of all you write TR for TR, and then now in between now we write the table head, the table data now is not the table head, so now you write TD, which is now the for table data, and then just click enter, and then now in the table data, so now we can have our 3, Control C, we can have now our 3 data here. Remember it follows this first format, so we have the name part, registration part, and your study part. So in your data now you must have the 3 parts. So like name, let me use my name, which is Nehemiah, and then in the registration number part, let me say I always like using X 2022, let me say 2022, and then year of study, let me say I'm year 1. So now I want us to make at least some 3 rows. So to do so, let me just copy this part and then paste here, and then paste here again, and then I'm going to change this name to be something like John. No, not really, it was just okay, Nehemiah. And then this second part is the one I'm going to change it to be John. This other one, let me say Joyce or James, and then perhaps I change the let me change the year of the the registration number, let me say something like 21, and then here 2020. Then when you click Control S to save and then refresh, remember this table is not going to be that complete table. At least you must customize it to be a complete table. You shall include some CSS there or style it so that it may be a proper table. So just click Control S to save, and then here refresh. So guys, you can see it's a table but not a complete table for me, so perhaps you might want to customize it. Before then, let me include some break tag here, br. So and then I click Control S so that it may split. So guys, as you can realize, this comment is not appearing on your page. So guys, we want to make this to be a very presentable table. So to do so, go to this table of yours and then write borders, write border and give it something like 1, and then after border go to cell padding, give it something like 10, and then another thing is cell spacing, you give it something like 10 again, then click Control S to save, and then refresh. So guys, you can see it's a table. It's now a table, right? It's now a table. It has the part for the heading, which is always by default it is bold. It is in bold, and then you have the table. So I wrote Nehemiah, John, and James, and then this is their registration number and the year of study. So guys, you can see it's a table, and for table we are going to discuss them in details as we go ahead, as we move, especially when we will reach to CSS. So I think this is part of the table. I think by now, let me say I'm done. Do practice on this table, but the next thing that we are going to discuss is the list. So guys, another thing that we are going to discuss is the is the list. So with the list, you just use the li element. So before then, let's go to this end. We put our break tag here, so that to split the list, and then here just include this just include this these two hyphen, and then write lists, lists, and then close. So this now yeah, these are just comments that tells you that this part I'm discussing coding a list. So with the list, you have the ordered list and unordered list. So with the ordered list, we use the OL, and then you click enter, and then now to write your list, you use the li for list. So when you just write li for list, let me use, I want to make some 3 columns, so let me just copy and paste the same. Let me put something like 5. So to make this list, let me use the things that we are going to discuss. First of all, we are discussing HTML, which is for hypertext markup language, HTML. And then after this, we are going to discuss CSS, and then JavaScript, which is a very good programming language for web development. And then we shall go to PHP. We shall focus especially in PHP when we will be handling the backend part of the web development. And then Python. When we will reach Python, we shall now begin. We will begin machine learning or something like that, and so forth. And then maybe another thing that we will discuss is the Java. So these are my favorite languages. You don't need to know all the language. There are so many. There are just something like 750. There are very, very many. You cannot learn all of them, but if you have these 3, these are this. Remember, CSS and HTML is not a programming language. So here, the only programming language you have is Java, PHP, Python, and Java. Remember, Java is different with the JavaScript. JavaScript especially it focuses on the things that it deals with web development, and then Java is focuses on especially on those application apps and so forth. So this is now our ordered list. So when you click Control S to save, and then here refresh, you see it will be numbered. So you see you have the your list which is numbered. So ordered list, just follow this order 1 2 3 4 5 to 6. But we have another category of the list. Before then, guys, for you to see properly, let me just include this CSS tag. So you don't need to do so. These are CSS. We shall discuss CSS later. So let me just include this div, and then here I just want to create some space here down here so that you may see very properly. So let me just say style, and then style margin top, and then let me give it something like a 500 pixel. Then let me click Control S to save, and then here refresh, so that at least I may have some space here so that you can see very well what I am coding. But I don't need to do so. We shall discuss CSS later. So another thing we are going to discuss is the unordered list. the unordered list. So let me just copy these tags, and then click Control C to copy. Copy pasting. I like copy pasting. And then here, so now the thing that we are going to change here is the this OL to be UL for unordered list. But before then, let me include some comments here. Before comments, I add break tag BR and then add some comments. Let me say unordered list, and then my two. So when I click Control S, and then on the browser Control R to refresh it, you'll see it will be some bullets here. So let me just click Control R to refresh. So you see this now unordered list, that it doesn't follow the order like 1 2 3 4 5 6. It just uses these bullets. But remember, with CSS you can style your your unordered list to be, you can use the ticks, they are called what, those presentable things, the ticks, the dashes, and so forth for another list. And then this part also you can customize it and make it presentable with the CSS. So I guess that I'm done with the part of the list. So guys, another thing that we are going to discuss is the images. So with the images, before then, let me include some break tag here, BR, then another break tag BR here, and then let me include some my comments here, and then let me write something like we are discussing images, so let me say images, and then close my comment. And then here now with the image, remember image is the remnant of XHTML, is a self-closing tag element. You don't need to include the closing tag. It's a self-closing. You can write like this, not really. You can write just img, and then you are done. It's a self-closing tag. You don't need to include the end tag for the image. So it's a self-closing tag. Just include the img, which is the tag. But remember, the image has the attributes. Attribute for search, the search, and the source, actually the source, and then the name of the image. So you must include the image, those attributes. So just write img, and then click enter, and then here you have your src, which is for source, and then here you include the image. First of all, you need to put an image in the same folder. Let me just click open, control and the Windows logo plus it, open the file explorer, then go to downloads. Then I already created a folder here for my images. So here I have image, this is my friend here, and then you have my logo. So the folder is img, and then the name is my logo, and the file type is a png file. So let me go to my code, and then here write, and the folder is img, and then you put a / now to split it. This is the folder, and then you write the name. The name of the image is my logo. I'm using my logo, and then it's a png file. So when you are done with this, just click Ctrl S to save, and then refresh. And guys, you can see we have my image here, my logo. I have my logo here. So yeah guys, you see I have my logo, but sometimes it might happen that you deleted that image on your computer, so you might want to leave some text that the users may see, may guess, or may guess what was there, what kind of image that was there. So you include the ALT, the alternative text, for the image. So let me say my logo. So when you, for example, let me try to change the name of the image. Let me remove this all and then click Ctrl S to save. So actually it will not find the image, but it will leave some text so that the users may guess the kind of image that was there. So let me just refresh. So guys, you can see it is displaying my logo here, and people can guess that there was an image here, but it was deleted, but that image was my logo. So that's why the alternative text is very prudent on the image tag. But when it's complete, when it's just okay, it will not include the name. So when I just include that all and then click Ctrl S to save, and then I refresh, you can see guys, it's not displaying any name that for my logo. So I guess this is all about images. So go and do more practice on images. But remember, this is like my first video. The previous video I realized that they are not visible, so I just decided to begin afresh. So after that, the final thing that we are going to discuss, the key thing on our web page is the forms. Remember, we have other tags, other elements, but the ones that I've shown you, they are the best. They are the very basics of a web page. They are very important. The images, this, the tables, the paragraph, the list, the images. These are the very important part of on our web page. So the final thing that we are going to discuss, a very key thing on web development, is the form. So with the form, let's include, first of all, don't forget to include the break tag, BR for break tag, and then you write what are you. Let's first of all write some comments here, and then say forms. Forms is very wide, but we are going to discuss just the very basic part of it, so that you may not be confused so much, because I know some of you, this is your first time to encounter HTML. So with the form, you just include the form element. You use the form element. You just write form element. It's a complete HTML element, so it has the first tag and the end tag. And then now, with the form, actually the forms are used to collect user input, and the user input are often sent to a server for processing. But remember, we are not discussing the PHP, those languages for server side. We are just discussing the front end part of it, and more so it is just HTML. So we are going to create a form, but it will not be responsive. It will not be responsive, but it's prudent to know the basic while in HTML. So with the form, let's try to use the one for for the input type text. So you just include the inside the form. You go to the label. We want to use the one for user input, like write your name, then write your first name, your second name, and then like that. Just include the label, and then in the label, let me say write your first name. Write here your first name, and then let me add some colon here. And then after you've completed the label, remember always use to always in this first tag it must have some attribute here, label for it, so you include the four, and then is a label for text. We want just a text. Yeah, just a text. Yeah, it's a text. And then remember we have different type of labels. We can have the one for we have different types of those forms, like the one for you can just use the checkbox and those other things. But for now, this is for text, so that the users may just type their text there, the free text there. So click Control. So I don't want to copy this one. So after you've completed this line for label, then you go to another line for input. So you just write input, then I click enter. So in the input, you use the input type is a text. So you just write this text, and then the name, you can decide to use the actually the name is first name. Let me use something like f name, yeah, the name. And then the ID let it be the f name. I think the mistake that I'm doing here, the mistake that I'm doing here is where I should write the f name here, f name, and then the input type. This is now our text. The type is a text, and then the name is f name in this part of input. And then after f name, you go to the name itself. The name, you can decide to use the placeholder or the name. Let me say name. Already we have the name here. Okay, so the thing that we want to add here is the ID. The ID, let me just write the ID at an attribute, and then in the ID, let me say just f name. Let me click Control S to save, and then on the browser let me refresh. So guys, you can see we have the f name, the place for writing your name here. So you can see you can write here a name, but before then let me include some some heading here. Let me say a registration form. First of all, it's a H1. No, you don't need to do this, but I just want to make it so that you may see the heading. So let me say forms, then click Control S to save, and then here refresh. So we are discussing forms. So this is now the first tag for the name, first line for name. And then another thing that let's include another one for the second name. So let me just click Control C to save, and then here let me include the one for the last name. So I am going to change some letters here, and then here let me change the L name, and the name here is L name. So let me say last name, then click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. You see we have it is in that way, but I forgot to add some break tag here, so just include the br so that it may be in a good line. Br or yeah, then click Ctrl S and then here refresh. So guys, you can see it is it's a form. You can fill your form here, like you can user can add your name, their name, so you can fill their name here. So you can see you have Nehemiah, then we can, so someone can just type here their name, but now we want to include the placeholder so that the users may see some some text there, so that they may just type their name. So we use the placeholder. So placeholder, you just write here placeholder here, and then write first name, and then here in this other one, let me say placeholder, and let me say a last name, then I click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So you can see when guys want to type their name here, it gives them some hint. So when they just want write, it will clear this placeholder so that they may begin to type again. So this is the placeholder. So then another thing that we want to write is the submit. So for submit, we use this input. We use the input alone. Yeah, we use the input type is a submit, I guess. Submit input type submit, I guess. Yeah, and then the name of the, so we use the value value is submit, then I click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So guys, you can see we have the submit button here. Before then I don't know why I forgot to add some break tag here. br Ctrl S, and then here refresh. Let me add another break tag, br. Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So guys, you can see we have the submit button, but it will not submit because we haven't included the server side language. But if we could have the language for the backend, we should write here the we could have write here some command here, like actually we could have written some the action element here. We could write the action, and then for example, if it could be PHP, we could say something like but because I'm not discussing PHP, let me just include say a hash here. Then click Ctrl S. We are not discussing these things, so it cannot work because we haven't included the language for the backend, for the server side. So this is a submit button. So when you write your name and then you click submit, it could submit, but now it cannot submit because it cannot submit because we don't have the language for the server side. And then another thing that we might want to write is the reset button. So input is again an input, input, but now we just write the type alone. So the type is a reset, then click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So you can see we have the reset button. So for example, when I write my name, and then I click reset, it will give the default form of the default design of the form. So I think these are the very basics about forms. So we have different types of form. We have the radio types. We have the or perhaps let me try to briefly discuss them. But we have the email type. You have the date field. But let me just present to you. For example, let's try what for the checkbox or what. Let me begin with the checkbox. So with the checkbox, we use the before then. Let me use the div here, and then it begins with the input. So before it we use the input thing, input, and then the input type is a checkbox. Checkbox, right? Yeah, checkbox. Yeah, the input type is a checkbox, and then the name, you give it something like let's say is a checkbox for let me say the type of food that I like. So the name, let me say for pizza, for pizza, I like pizza. And then the ID is the ID, and the ID is ID is for pizza. Yeah, I guess pizza. Let me say pizza. ID is for pizza. And then so now for the label, let me say label. Let me say first of all, you don't forget the tags. So label. So label for pizza, and then is a label for what? Label for pizza. You just write a pizza, pizza itself. For you say label for pizza. Yeah, label for pizza. Yeah, it's a label for pizza. Let me try click Ctrl S to save, and then here refresh. So you see how a checkbox here. So let me add some break tag BR. So I want to copy this line so that I may not repeat, so that remember the checkbox should be at least something like 3, so that the users may choose their favorite food. So this guy, another guy like macarons. So I'll add macarons here, macarons, and then here macarons, macarons for macarons. Then here I'll change it to be macaroons. Macaroons. And then here for macaroons. Yeah, for macaroons, checkbox. Yeah. So let me click Ctrl S to save, and then on the browser refresh. So you see we have a different type of checkboxes. Someone can decide to check. For example, you write a text here that choose your favorite food. So someone could choose a pizza, another one macaron, or someone can say they like all of the above. So they'll choose all the options. And then we have another one for the radio button. So with the radio button, let me just copy these tags so that I may not repeat again. So let me just copy and then I paste down here. So this one we use the type will be the radio button. So I'm going to just to change the radio. Where let me just where else to change for input type. It's not a checkbox, it's a radio. It's not a radio station, but just a radio. A radio button is just used so someone can either choose if it's a male or female, can just choose one item among the limited or a limited number. So let me just say radio. Then I click Ctrl S and then I here refresh. So guys, you can see we have the radio. So someone here can either choose one among these are limited number. So when you choose macarons, guys, these are the radio buttons. So so someone can either choose two of them, but to reduce the risks, let me reduce these these checkboxes so that we may have the one for pizza and the pizza alone. So just click Ctrl S to save, and then I here refresh. So but it's the same, so someone can, yeah, it has worked. So someone can either choose this one or this one. I've included just a pizza, but let me say here, let me say macaroons, and click Ctrl S to say, and then I here refresh. So someone can either choose the macaron or pizza. So these are the radio buttons. So we have also another one for text area, but I don't want to go to it now. We also have the date input field and very many others, but for now I just wanted to introduce to you to the very basics of HTML. So so have time to review these things and yeah, have time to review this what I've taught you today, and it will be good for you. So where you haven't understood, just have ask a question in the comment section, and also just ask a question in the comment section, and also you can also review the video. You can rewind it back so that you may get where you did not get it well. But meanwhile, ensure you join our Telegram group so that we may discuss these things together. So guys, this is the end of the video. I really appreciate for your precious time. Please subscribe to this channel and also like the video. I'll really appreciate so much for your support to me, and guys, have a blessed day.